Hey guys, it's me again. With Hey guys, it's me again. I don't know what's going on with me today. I kind of just woke up, so this is why my voice will probably sound weird, and a little bit darker than usual. But let's get into the regular programming of this podcast. I hope you guys have been having a good spring break. I know I have been busy, and my birthday's coming up. It's on Sunday of this week that I'm recording. So you'll probably see pictures of me going to the club acting a mess. So stay tuned for that. But let's get into the regular programming. Let's get into what my daily wavelengths have been for this week. Starting with some stuff from Spotify. Let me get back to my Spotify account because, that's great. One I can talk about that's been on the top of my head. There's a new artist that I've been listening to. I think I spoke on it last podcast we had, but his name is V. And he recently has an EP called Startup Volume 1. I think it's Start or Startup. Let me check. Spotify's getting on my nerves right now. Okay, so what the artist, like I said before, was is named V. Just the letter V, guys. It's not like V EE. It's just the letter V. And the EP is called Start Volume 1. So I want you guys to go check that out, listen to it, and please support him because I really appreciate his music. I think I said what my favorite song was on last time, but let me reiterate it. My favorite song is Like This, and I think I messed up and said that it was the last track on the EP, but it's actually the third track on the EP. All the songs are great in my opinion, but Like This just gives me I just feel like this fits for probably where I am right now when it comes to just my aspects on love and just relationships, period. So I feel like that's why the song connected with me more than the rest of them. So please check this out. And the other songs I've been listening to, I don't know if you guys are remember this group, because Adrienne Bailon was in this before she was and Tori Norton were in this group together. It's called 3LWs. Back in like the early 2000s, they were more popular. So it's off. I've been listening to their first album recently, and their first album is just 3LW. It's self-titled. My favorite songs off of this album are "Is You Feeling Me," the song "Curious," "Crush on You," and "No More Baby I'ma Do Right." And then there's also a remix version which features Nas, and I love both versions of that song. So I would suggest you guys listen to this if you guys are like into like early 2000s like R&B like popish music. They're a good listen. What else have we been listening to? I guess that kind of qualifies as throwbacks too, so kind of matching some of it. And then I've been listening to Tank. I've been listening to Tank, especially his song "One Way." I've been listening to the original. I completely, for some reason, it went past my head that he did a remix. He did a remix with Ty Dolla $ign and Trey Songz, which I really like. So I want you guys to go support Tank as well, for not only this song and single and a remix, but also his album, which is, I hate that my Spotify is acting up today. It's really getting on my nerves. Okay. Thank you, Spotify, for working. The album is called Savage. So please go get Savage. There's a lot of good songs on there. From my opinion, "You Belong to Me" is a good song. "Good Thing" featuring Candace Boyd is a good song as well. Again, "When We" is a great song. And then another song that I really love by Tank from this new album is called F It Up. So please check that out. So, getting on to some more throwbacky songs, even though I've been mixing them in. I've also been listening to. Okay, let me go. I don't know if you guys remember. I'm going all the way back. I don't know if you guys like Disney Channel kids. So Allie and AJ. So they were like Disney Channel stars back in the day. Probably like in the early 2000s. They had like an album called Into the Rush. So my favorite song off of that, it's more like a poppy rock sound. So my favorite song is called Rush off the album. So if you guys are into like the pop rock, like early 2000s kind of stuff, this will be a good listen to as well. And just to bring you back to those old times is kind of nostalgic for me. So that's why I came back to this. And they recently have a new album as well. They recently have a new album called, is it an album or is it an EP? To make sure. Alright, so it's called 10 Years, because they've been going for like 10 years since their last release, so that's why it was called 10 Years when they released this album. I haven't got a chance to listen to the new album. To be honest, it could be really classified as an EP because it's only 4 songs on it. So to be honest, it's more like an EP than an album. So if you guys like what you heard Into the Rush, and you guys actually were fans of Allie and AJ, I would check out this EP and then leave me your comments and what you guys think of this album down below. So again, moving on. So I've also been listening to some Escape. So I don't know if you guys know Escape. They were like an urban R&B group. They were around like the time when like SWV was out, TLC. It was like the 90s. It was never 90s thing where like everything was there. Like all the different versions of R&B were around. So Escape was not. I came into Escape a little bit later than most, but out of all my songs, out of all the songs, I love a lot of their songs, but My Little Secret is a great song. Oh my God, Spotify, you're messing me up. My Little Secret. Softest Place on Earth is a good song. That's from their Traces of My Lipstick album, which is a good album. I feel like the first album they put out, which is, the heck? Let me do this. I feel like their first album, which I believe was, let me get this correct before I speak. Okay, now Spotify's working off. Okay, so now I can talk about all the stuff I was trying to talk about. So again, these are my favorite songs. They're very popular songs as well. But the song "Who Can I Run To" is a great song. Just Kicking It, just kicking. One of their a great single as well. So good throwback song. I said My Little Secret before. Softest Place on Earth as well. Then Understanding. This is probably my favorite song ever. I might actually use this song to test out my range every single day. Like, so if I'm practicing singing, I usually practice with this song just because of the dynamics of the voices and just the different tones and like different registers are in. So if you guys like old 90s R&B, please check Escape out. I've also been listening to I live for them. Another 90s group. Come on. I don't know if you guys know this, but this is another group that was on Bad Boy with Diddy, along with Mary J. Blige. They were with their names are Kima, Keisha, and Pam. And probably my favorite album from them probably is the self-titled album. To be honest with me, I do love all of their music. I really don't know any songs that I don't really like by them. But the song from the Kima, Keisha, and Pam album, the first track on the song called Trippin', is probably my favorite song off of the album. Then we have the song called Do Something with Missy Elliott and Mocha, and then my next favorite is Rain by Total from that album. And then they have great. Sorry guys, this is taking a little bit longer than usual, but I'm using Spotify and going through everything I've been listening to. And then I don't know if you guys have known, this is such a classic 90s song, so I'm sure you guys probably do know this. Both of these songs actually. It's called Can't You See, featuring Notorious B.I.G. Can't you see, baby? So that's pretty much how the song goes. Like, that's like the hook. I haven't listened to it in a while, but that's like the lyrics are a little bit hazy. But and then another song is Kissing You, which is a great song. Kissing you is another great song, another like good like slow R&B, mid tempo. It's like slow, but it's mid tempo at the same time. It's like a weird combination. But if you guys are interested in that, please listen to that, and then you guys can go into the whole like Bad Boy catalog, and I'm pretty much there most of the time. So that's it for my throwbacks. So let's get into some hot topics, what we call the hot topics in the entertainment industry and mostly the music industry. Then I'm just going to talk about some of the stuff that's been going on with me, and then we are going to be talking about some of the stuff that's coming out by some of the people we've recently interviewed. So other than that, I'm just going to break this into another segment, and we'll be back in a few seconds. Hey guys, I'm back with some hot topics for the music industry. So what I'm going to start off talking about, we're going to start off a little bit with some of the achievements that have been made with entertainment this week and the following weeks. The previous weeks, actually, let me speak correctly. So, I know you guys have heard me talk about Black Panther and how much I love this movie, but Black Panther has not stopped when it has come to the global box office. Black Panther has crossed the 1 billion mark, and there's an article on Variety.com that talks specifically about this record-breaking streak. It goes into saying Marvel's Black Panther continues its record-breaking streak, passing the 1 billion mark at the global box office in just 26 days. The Ryan Coogler tentpole is the 33rd movie to gross $1 billion. It's the 16th Disney film to reach this milestone and the 5th Marvel film to do so. Joining the ranks of the Avengers, Age of Ultron, Iron Man 3, and Captain America Civil War. And it goes into saying Black Panther has grossed $521 million domestically, making it the 9th highest release of all time. In its 4th weekend, Black Panther is heading for a $40 million plus weekend, which will make it the number 2 superhero release of all time over the Dark Knight's 535 million. So when you look at that, when it comes, especially looking at a film like Dark Knight, and then looking at the other Marvel films, this is really a great achievement, and I'm really proud that we got to see something that, because to be honest, the fact that it was a pretty much all African American film, I wanted it to be successful. I really did. To be honest, I knew that the movie was already going to be good because I respect all the actors that were a part of it. Like Denai Guerrero, I was not familiar with, but seeing her in this movie really made me appreciate her because I know she's from Walking Dead. And they're actually Kevin Feige teased that they might be thinking about doing a spinoff with her character in the movie named Okoye. So that possibly might happen, possibly not, might not be happening, but the fact that he's interested in something like that is interesting. Then you have Lupita Nyong'o, which is a great actress in my opinion, Michael B. Jordan, who played Killmonger. Then you have Chadwick Boseman, who played T'Challa. Just all the actors and some of the newcomers like Letitia Wright and Winston Duke did such a great job. And then you have veterans like Angela Bassett and Forest Whitaker that also did a great job. Just overall, this movie, I can't say it enough how much I love this movie. But just seeing that this has done so well, and then it beats back the fact that people always say that black films won't cross over worldwide, but obviously this is wrong. And it's shown that this myth that Hollywood has portrayed for decades is a farce, because it's passing $1 billion in the global box office. So you can't really say that this myth holds true anymore. So now, getting off to some more great news, we have Ava DuVernay, which is a film director that I follow. She's very well known for her making of Alex. Hold on, let me get this real quick. Let me make sure I do not speak too quiet. She's noteworthy for making the documentary 13, which talks about the prison system and the incarceration and a lot of the history that goes into incarceration when it comes to people of color. And so she's well known for that documentary. It's on Netflix. I believe it's still on Netflix. I'm not sure if they took it off of Netflix yet, but I'm sure it probably still is. But she's recently released A Wrinkle in Time. I don't know if you guys have read the book, but it's more like a sci-fi book. It's based on like a family, like a family where their father is like an absentee father. And they're going across different worlds, and they meet like very like eccentric characters. But it's based on a book that was already book that I read probably in 5th grade. So I'm pretty knowledgeable about the book. I didn't like read over the book. I really want to see this, but from what I've heard, it's very like, it's more of a kids movie. So I might not, to be honest, for me, since I'm older, I might not actually like the movie. But coming from people that like are younger, it seems like it's a great movie for them particularly, which I respect, because I feel like they don't make a lot of kids movies that are just made for kids that aren't like animation. But the good thing about Wrinkle in Time is that it earned $1.3 million on Thursday night, which was, if I believe correctly, that was their opening night, I think. And I'm on Variety.com if you guys want to look at the article I'm looking at right now. So it says, okay, its Thursday preview numbers are in line with those for Alice Through the Looking Glass, which started with 1.5 million en route to a 34 million Bow and Wonder, which kicked off to 740,000 before ending the weekend with 28 million. It's hard to fully assess Wrinkle in Time's prospective box office results from late night previews because it is a family film. Its target audience is more likely to turn up on Saturday and Sunday when school is out. Like I said, since this is really for like children and like probably like early teenage years, that's why they're saying what they said about Saturday and Sunday. And okay, let's get into this. And then the reason why it's making headlines so well is because A Wrinkle Time is the first film at this budget level from a female director of color. And Ava DuVernay has also done a great movie called Selma. And says the picture has also generated excitement because of its commitments to show more representation on screen at a time when Hollywood is being faulted for failing to back movies featuring female leads and protagonists who are Black, Asian, or Latino. A Wrinkle in Time cast includes actors such as Oprah Winfrey, Mindy Kaling, and Storm Reed. So you guys can get on to this and see what this article talks about, but I just wanted to talk about some of the achievements that have been made, especially for Black Panther, since it's been like a cultural phenomenon since it's been released, and then Wrinkle in Time since it's a new thing, and because I just love Ava DuVernay, I think she deserves all the things that are happening for her. But getting on to the next topics. Next topic, to be honest. I don't know if you guys have been hearing. It's been going on for at least a week since this all happened. But there's been a controversy over Bruno Mars and people talking about cultural appropriation. Some of the stories that I've been reading have been interesting to read, to be honest. But I feel like the GrapevineTheRoot.com, they have an article called the Bruno Mars Controversy Proves People Don't Understand Cultural Appropriation. So I want to kind of talk about that and give you guys some insight before of where I'm coming from. Just a little bit of insight. I don't want to harp on this too much. But this all happened. This all started on a show on YouTube called the GrapevineTV. This is hosted by Ashley Acuna, and the producer on the show is named Donovan. I'm not sure of his last name, but they've been having conversations about cultural appropriation over since they've been created. And they've been going for 4 years with this show. So they've been talking about this when it comes to Justin Timberlake, Iggy Azalea, and stuff like that, and Miley Cyrus as well, talking about what cultural appropriation is and how it looks in the music industry and the community at large when it comes to America. So they've been talking about this topic for a while, but since this came probably a few weeks after Bruno Mars winning his Grammys for Album of the Year and his other Grammys that he won this year for the Grammys, as I said, it got all this backlash for a specific person on this panel named Seren. Seren is I've watched this show for a long time, so I know where all these people's hearts are. So Seren is a very like blunt and brash person. So her comments, people took clips of this and posted over social media. So that's really where I believe most of the controversy comes from, because Seren said she really doesn't care for Bruno Mars. Like she says, if he died, she really wouldn't care about it. So people were highly offended by that. And being somebody that has watched this and being a supporter of Seren and her knowledge about certain subjects, especially this subject. She's very knowledgeable, and all the points that she had were correct, to be honest. But since her brashness about saying Bruno Mars is deaf and all the other stuff, that to me that is selling the points that she was making in this conversation. There's 2 parts of this conversation. It's 1 episode, but 2 parts on YouTube. I really want you guys to listen to this and form your opinions off of that, because I feel like people are just using clips and posting them all over the place, and they're not getting the full aspect of what this whole conversation was about, because it was not just trashing on Bruno Mars. There was a lot of people that were actually fans of Bruno Mars. They were just talking about how cultural appropriation can still happen, even if it's in between people of color. And taking to a different top, and quite frankly, I've talked about this Bruno Mars and my thoughts about Bruno Mars before, and said that I didn't really like him because I felt like, not that he wasn't talented, because I believe that he's talented, but I feel like he wasn't creating original content. He's just taking from what has already been made and not really doing anything different with it. Like, when you think about Prince, even though Prince used a lot of influences and used a lot of stuff that was created before him, one, he gave back to these artists. Like, some of the artists that he was influenced by, he actually put on his label called I actually did and watched a documentary on it. Let me make sure I have the name of his record label correct. Okay. Let's see. Okay, let me make sure this is correct. Okay. So, like I said, it's called Paisley Park Records. I just want to make sure I was correct before I spoke too much. So he put some of the artists, like, he was influenced by, like, there was George Clinton, which is one of his influences people really associate him with. So he put him on the record label, and he actually did an album that was based on his influences in the 60s. So he did like a whole album. If you guys look on YouTube, there's a documentary talking about Prince, where it talks about all the information about what Prince did for these artists and how he grew to fame and just his talent, if you guys are interested in that. But I brought him up because I feel like it's interesting, because people, like, artists have always been influenced by other artists. It's very rare that people come with their own sound that really, like, changes the whole game. Like, when you think about Missy Elliott and Timbaland, they created a whole sound that still to this day sounds new, and nobody can really duplicate it or recreate it, to be honest, if you ask me. So when it comes to that, people will say he's really just doing what all artists do. They are influenced, and they just brings and they just recreate it and do it a different way. But to be honest, like I said before, I don't think that he's really done anything that's necessarily different from the New Jacks. He, especially for this last album, I'm blanking on the name. Forgive me, guys. But for this last album, it's very like New Jack Swing influenced. So that's another reason why people are really coming for him. His last album was very probably very 60s, 70s influenced black music. So like jazz and stuff like that. So that's my thoughts on it. Like, I believe that while I believe he's very talented, I believe that he's I wouldn't say he's like a full-blown like culture appropriator, because he actually does give people credit, especially for him giving people like Jim Jam and Teddy Riley their credit for creating the art form of New Jack Swing. I feel like he does that. At least he does that, which is more than what most people like Justin Timberlake and Miley Cyrus and people like that and Iggy Azalea have done when they were out. Still to this day for Justin Timberlake, because he switched over. Because to be honest, Justin Timberlake didn't become really mainstream until he was with Timberland. So that's why people say he is a cultural appropriator as well. So speaking on that, so if you guys, I just want you guys to go onto the GrapevineTheRoot.com and read the article. The author of this, Michael Harriot, I feel like really encompasses this whole argument and controversy. So if you guys want to look at that, please look at that. And then I would suggest that you guys watch the full 2-part videos for the Grapevine TV that talks about this topic. That's where this all sprung up from. And if you guys are really interested in how this has affected the host and some of the members of the Grapevine TV show on YouTube, you guys can go to Hot 97, where they have like an interview with one of the members of the Grapevine, Jameer, that interviewed them. So speaking of that, let's get into our next segment, and I'll be back with you guys in a few. So let's move on to the next segment. Alright guys, I'm back. What we're going to be doing now is talking about some of the stuff that's been going on and some of my plans for my birthday this weekend. And then I'm going to be doing some shout outs for some of the stuff that has been going on with some of the artists that we have interviewed from RMG and just some people I respect. So what's been going on? So it's been spring break, so I've been busy. So I wish I could have relaxed, but since I have an online class, I've been working pretty much this whole time. And thank God I had like one day where I could hang out with my friend before she goes back to school. My friend Natasha. I think you guys have heard me talk about Natasha before, but she's one of my best friends from high school. We kept in touch, but she goes to Albright. With some more friends that I met through her, that I love and respect too, that I didn't have a chance to see. So we got to hang out for one day, thank God, because I missed her a lot. We'll just have to wait until summer to do all the crazy stuff that we usually do. So summer needs to hurry up. Well, at least spring needs to hurry up because I'm tired of this cold weather. But my plans for this birthday, to be honest, like, it's my birthday, yes, but I've always been somebody that's like I'm always happy when my birthday comes around, but then like I'm not like overly extra. Like some people will like have a whole week planned for their whole birthday, like a year before their birthday even comes along. So it's like they'll make it like a full week of celebration for their birthday. I'm kind of like that. I just really would like, I'm really just somebody just like, oh, let me just go with my friends together. We can go hang out, eat dinner, then go to the club, and then that's it. Like either the day before or like the day after my birthday. It's not like a huge like thing, especially, and it's like I'm about to turn 22, so it's kind of like it's all like the milestones really don't really happen for you until you like turn 30, which is crazy because like I'm closer to 30, and I feel like things been sped up since I got out of high school because I was 18, because I was like 19 when I graduated from high school, and now I'm 22. So it's weird for me to be like that because I feel like I've been very mature for my age. When I was younger, like when I was 12, it kind of felt like I was 21. So it's like kind of like a brain fart that I'm actually about to turn 22. So it's kind of like a weird mind thing that's going on with me. So some of the plans I have for my birthday are me and my friends hang out pretty much in the Philly area, eating dinner, being fat like usual, and then going to the club. So that's pretty much what I'm going to do for this week, and then possibly today, since I have some time. I'm going to get the rest of the work done. I'm going to spread the rest of the work out until the deadline. So I'm going to spread it out, have fun. Then me and my parents are going to take me out for dinner tomorrow. So that should be fun. Hopefully I get some money, because I need some money for equipment. If you guys are college students, which I would think that you guys are mostly college students listening to this, but you know how much stuff costs. So I need some equipment for this podcast to help make this probably a better listen for you guys. Like I finally figured out how to use one of the mics I've been using to make the sound better for me being by myself. But I actually want to get a new mic if possible with some money. So when I interview, you guys can hear their voice more clearly and get a chance to get some of their personality through their voice when I'm interviewing them. So that'd be great if that could happen. Just some other audio equipment. It's just like some regular like music industry equipment, like studio equipment that I would use, because I really want to probably start getting into getting out of my head and trying to at least create like a single with some of the people that I know, just working together and seeing what can possibly happen. I just want to just see what a single would sound like with my voice on it. So that's kind of my ideas. Whenever my birthday comes around, it kind of is like me rethinking what's been going on over my life over the past year. So it's a lot of things. So it's like a lot of checks and balances of me seeing what I can check off of my list and what I still need to work on throughout this new year of life for me. So that's always interesting. So other than that, let's get on to let's get off of me. Because if you guys don't know, so far, I'm kind of like somebody that likes to not dwell on a lot of stuff, especially myself a lot. So what I want to talk about is some of the artists that have been on this podcast, and some of the stuff that's been going on with them. So recently, Andrew Amasola, he was one of our first few interviews. He's going to be releasing a mixtape on April 13th on iTunes and Spotify. It's going to be a self-titled mixtape. So he self-produced it. Everything that's been done, the production, everything on the album mixtape, is all done by him. So I really respect his grind and respect what he's done with his music previously. So I'm really excited for this. Probably going to try and get him on to this podcast around the time of release, or probably after the release, so we can talk about this album, because I really would like to help promote this mixtape on iTunes and Spotify for him, because again, I really respect him. Then getting on to one of the producers that I interviewed on our producers podcast that I did, called his name is Carl, DJ Carl, but his group is called Chase and Treasure. They're actually doing some events for St. Patrick's Day tomorrow, the day before my birthday. They're doing shows at Big Shots. This is all on the official website for them, called chaseandtreasure.com. So go and check them out. All the information is there as well. But the places they're going to be are Big Shots and Mike's Courtside. They're both in New Jersey. Mike's Courtside is around the New Brunswick area. And Big Shots is around like North Jersey, if I believe. I had to recheck. But the times for that, if you guys want to check them out, the first show at Big Shots is at 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. So it's a 7-hour show. And then they go to Mike's Courtside, which starts at 9 p.m. and then goes all the way until 11 a.m. in the morning. for the next day. So if you guys want to check them out and get a chance to see Carl get down with the turntables and see what the music sounds like, please check them out. Please support them. I really respect Carl, so please support him, guys. Then my little brother Javon, it has released a new single on SoundCloud. Why can I not talk today? I feel like this always happens when I go on this podcast. Called Isn't Love. So I'm gonna play a snippet for you guys. Then we're gonna end the show off with this. So I hope you guys have liked this conversation that I've been with for this podcast. Please leave your comments down below. Let me know some songs you guys would like me to listen to, as always, as I asked you guys to do. Please DM me, guys, all at my personal Instagram at DWriter, and that's what am I talking about? It's at D.WRITA. Again, it's at D.WRITA, DWriter. And you can always check us out for whatever we're going to do on our Millennial Tones podcast Instagram. The username is actually at Welcome to the Wavelength. So type in Welcome to the Wavelength. That's all one word, no spaces, and we'll pop up. You'll see a picture of me and Brittany looking good. And that will be the official website for us at this moment. I'm really trying to work on a website, so stay tuned for that. But let's get into this song. I really like this song. It's more R&B based. So you guys know how I feel about R&B. And it sampled the song. I'm trying to figure out what it is. And it was produced by Jay Casperson and Lee Greens. For the song.
I'm feeling trapped, but I'm sober. Kept it 100. Feel like I love getting older. You talking shit to your friends, ay? They come to me like disclosure. That type of shit for the birds, ay. So that you know you a vulture.
Alright, just gonna give you guys a tease of that song. Hope you guys appreciated that song as much as I do. I'm trying to figure out, I have to ask him where this sample, what the sample is for this song, because it reminds me of some like old like 90s R&B song, a 90s R&B artist that I need to figure out, because it's on the I'm probably going to figure it out later. But I hope you guys like that snippet. I hope you guys enjoyed this show again. Please message me, DM me on my personal Instagram, like I said before, at DWriter, D.WRITA, if I can speak, and also get us at Welcome to the Wavelength, which is our official Millennial Tones podcast page. So I'll see you guys next week. Hopefully you guys leave me some suggestions down below, and bye guys.